All right. So a couple of years down the road, um, you are you're working a lot.
Okay.
You have a couple of like side hustles going on right now,
Okay.
but it's a good you feel like it's good to be busy. You know what I mean? Especially because like you're the owner of these side hustles, you know?
What am I doing?
So in one of them, you have different things that you're doing. So you know how there's like that guy, I forget his name. He goes around and does like monologues as like Mark Twain or whatever.
Who's this guy?
There's like this guy, I don't remember his name, but he goes around doing monologues as Mark Twain. That's like his whole
I'm
thing.
not
A
familiar with
live
him.
perform Yeah, so you kind of do a version of that where you go around, you perform as Ben Franklin,
Oh,
where
come on,
it's
Pat.
not it's not like stand up per se, but you just do a lot of research into Ben Franklin. It turns out that Ben Franklin had like what is universally viewed as the worst Philadelphian accent that anyone of that time period had ever heard. You don't replicate it in your performance, except like in interviews you do. Like sometimes, like when you're interviewed about it, you'll be like, I actually learned the old Philly accent for this performance, but at the end it was just too grating to do like a whole, you know, hour long performance.
With this terrible accent.
Hey, I'm Ben Franklin. Go Eagles.
Yeah, it sounds
That's how
pretty
you would
fucking
practice it.
bad.
We're gonna go get a hoagie and we're gonna found this nation. It's Eagles Nation. But you're like, yeah, I just so like you'll do the accent like if anybody asks to hear it or whatever, but it's not like though you find that sometimes it's hard to like sometimes when you're driving, you'll just put on that accent for no reason. Like you'll just like say shit out loud just to amuse yourself, you know?
This is if it's that grating, why am I like into it? If
It's
it's
just
too grating for me to use, why do I insist on doing it when I'm alone?
there's just something about it that sometimes like when you're it's not like you do it around people. When you're driving in your car, sometimes you'll just narrate what you see. You'll just be like, "Oh, there goes a car.
This sucks.
There's a man selling hot dogs in the rain." And then you'll just kind of like think about it and you'll go, "I'm into this."
I'm into this.
So, you're doing your Ben Franklin one man show where you perform in like small theaters and stuff. It's not like stand up. It's you did a lot of research into Ben Franklin and you just sort of it's basically supposed to be Ben Franklin like in his twilight years, the last day of his life. He knows he's going to die tomorrow and this is what he wants the world to know about him. He was visited by the angel of death
Right.
who this isn't in the actual play itself necessarily. It's just like your own kind of head canon for it. He was visited by the angel of death and told that you know he has 24 hours to live and to let the world know who the fuck he is. At the end of every single performance, you look out and like you're actually very good at this. And so people do show up to it and they watch and they're kind of like by the end of it, they're sort of like totally transfixed by this. Like they believe that you are Ben Franklin. And you end every single monologue by gazing out upon that audience. Your eyes glint. Your eyes are fucking steel. And you say, if you didn't know who Ben Franklin was,
God damn it, Pat.
if you didn't know the name Ben Franklin by now, you sure as fucking shit do now. And you just walk off stage
God damn it.
to standing ovations. And you don't even turn around, dude. You just walk out that. You actually leave. That's how you leave the venue. Is you get paid up front, you go out, you perform, and you just as soon as you're done, you just leave. That's like you feel like that's the thing that Ben Franklin would do. It's part of the performance. So you call it,
Sometimes
yeah,
there are jokes on this show that are meant for only you and me, and maybe one other person.
Danny Goodwin. So
What the fuck?
so you're doing this one man show as Ben Franklin.
What
Um,
do I call it? What do I call it?
um, you call it Ben caught stealing the life of Ben Franklin.
Like the Jane's Addiction song?
Yeah, you walk out every night to that song.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And when you turn and walk away at the end, like without even turning around, they play that song again.
How do we get
Jane's
away with this?
Jane's Addiction actually, as a surprise, they reunite at one of these shows.
Oh Jesus!
It's unannounced. And then so you and people are like, holy shit. And you do your performance and they go up at the end again and they actually end up playing for like an hour. So it's sort of it's actually kind of a cool thing, you know? So it's a one man. So yeah, so it's Ben caught stealing, Ben, and BEN's in all caps. The story of Ben Franklin. So you're doing that to rave reviews. You're not necessarily you're doing okay, you know, making money with it, you know what I mean? But you're working another side hustle. You call this the summer of the side.
What?
The summer of the side, like the side hustle.
Oh,
Yeah, you call it working sides. So
working sides.
you're working sides. And the second thing that you do in the summer of sides is so what it is, it's kind of a niche audience that you're, you know, marketing to, but it's financially at least, like you do pretty well.
Yeah.
What it is it's a business where will you're on call to go to homes of like, you know, like old ladies who can't open jars and you open the jar for them. And you do it wearing like Chippendales clothing.
No, no, Pat. No, I'm not gonna go be a sexy jar opener. It's bad enough that I'm already transforming into fucking Ben Franklin.
But here's the deal. So you started this business and you know, you don't always necessarily you don't have to wear the skimpy clothing when you do it, but I would say about 50% of the people do request it. You have an option on your website.
I'm not putting that option there. I'm removing that option. I'm not gonna
So
subject myself
the
to that.
way that it started was your webmaster was Danny Goodwin. He put it
God
together for
damn
you.
it, Danny.
And as a joke, he thought you noticed, but I guess you didn't. He put a thing in it that said like, you know, it'll say like, you know, what's your name? Where are you located? What kind of services do you need specifically? You know, if there's any kind of extenuating circumstances about this jar that I have to know about, you know, let us know here. And then he wrote,
Any circumstances about this jar?
well, yeah, I mean, because you don't know, because you know, you've walked into some pretty strange situations, and so you got to make sure that you know what you're getting into. You know,
This sucks.
so you
I'm not dressing up like that.
so he put at the bottom he wrote like, should I wear a skimpy outfit? Yes
No,
or no, or prefer not to answer. And someone one day did click it, and you were and like when you got the order, you looked at it and it said like skimpy clothing, and you're like, what? And it was a legally binding thing. Danny also
no,
put that in
I'm
as a
not.
joke.
No, I'm not setting that website to go live without review. I'm not allowing this.
He slips it in afterward.
No, then no, no.
He's just being a rascal. He's like, he's like, sorry, bro. I thought
Why
you'd notice,
why is Danny
dude.
so fucking incompetent on this show?
So you go to these places and
I define skimpy. Okay. I'm gonna have to define it. And I'm not gonna be showing a lot.
yeah, but what you show proudly, dude, because you have been working on your lower body.
Great.
So your lower body is like sculpted at this
I already
point.
have my calves. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Yep,
It's a
you do.
lifetime of being a fat man.
You do. Um, you've always had very your your calves always grow up into full size, you know?
Fuck does that even mean?
It means
My
that, but
calves always grow up into full size?
yeah, because calves, like a calf, but they grow up
Yeah.
to be. So you don't have calves, you got fucking moo cows, baby.
Oh God.
So you're showing off your moo cows, you know what I mean, having the time of your
Showing them
life.
off.
Yeah. And so you wear like, one time you mix it up. One time you wore Speedo and you wore like a t-shirt on top. Cause
I'm not wearing a Speedo.
it's all about that lower body, dude.
I'm not wearing a Speedo to a client's house to open a jar.
Oh,
I'm not doing that.
you absolutely do though.
I'm
And it's not,
not doing
and
that to
normally it's
myself.
for, the thing is that most of the time people are like, yeah, no, they'll just click no or prefer not to answer. But sometimes they do it and it costs extra. That's the thing is that like it's $1,000 extra for you to do that.
You fucking kidding me?
And so, that's pretty good money. You can't turn that down for just to go to open up a fucking jar for some lonely, old lady,
Who
whatever.
is paying me over $1,000 plus whatever this bullshit service costs? How much? Who's paying for that?
These
$1,000?
old ladies who need jars opened. Maybe they did, maybe there's no one around to help them open jars, These things happen. What if they needed to open up something like a jar of medication or something? There could be really good reasons for this
Why are they paying $1,000 to see me in revealing clothing?
because those fucking moo
Come
cows
on,
that you got, those cows are mooing, brother.
I don't like this at all.
And the name of this business is called it's called the Twister. All your twisting needs.
The twister.
Yeah, because you twist the jar or the cow, the thing on top of the jar. So
I'm
you
I'm not like an exceptionally strong man or anything. Like, why am I? There's bound to be jars that I'm going to encounter that I cannot open.
because uh from a lifetime of self pleasure, you have developed
Are you
really
fucking
intense
kidding me?
wrist muscles.
Are you kidding me? That's
are,
why.
are you kidding
That's the
me? So you're really, really good at opening jars, you know? So, and you're earning, a pretty good amount of money for it. And so you are busy, but, you know, twisting is your business and business is good. But
sucks.
the main thing that you're doing that you're really, really passionate about is, you're still doing all your other stuff, writing, doing stand up comedy, stuff like that. Uh, but the thing that you've really been working on lately is music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what happened was one night you were out, you were doing a gig at this, uh, like Bennigan's type of place.
Okay.
They have a theater in the back. Uh, and so you do a gig there.
Okay.
And
What's it called?
the name of the restaurant,
Yeah.
It's called Patty O'Malley's uh, Tavern of Irish Bullshit.
That sucks. It says bullshit in the name of their business.
Yeah, that's their thing. It's a purposely over the top Irish bar. So like when you walk in, the bartenders they're wearing green, and it says they have the countdown to St. Patrick's Day, and it's
Yeah.
always at like 0.0001 seconds. They just keep it on that. They're like in here, it's always almost St. Patrick's Day. So you perform in the back. They have a theater. It's the uh, Tammy Kwan Memorial Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was there was this woman, Tammy Kwan, who they built this like theater in the back of this restaurant, and she unfortunately met her demise inside the theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She
She
was,
died in the theater.
yeah, an anvil fell on her head
Jesus.
after she slipped on a banana peel. And so they named the theater after her because she was very passionate about theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Tammy Plot Memorial Theater.
hmm? So you're performing there, and and part of the payment is they give you $50 to do a 12-minute set, and then you also get a free meal plus one Guinness. However, if you don't want the Guinness, you can trade it in for chicken wings.
What a fucking trade that is.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like a whole meal plus instead of a drink, I'll have chicken wings. Yeah.
And
I
there
mean, don't
and
get me wrong. I'm making that trade.
sure. So you kind of like sidle excuse me, sidle up to the bar, sit down. They gave you some water and stuff, and they put, your order in. And they have a there's this I'm blanking on the name, but in Irish music there's this thing where like you just sing, like it's just a cappella, you know what I mean?
Sure.
There's a certain thing for it. I don't know. But that's you realize like as you're eating, you just kind of like start hearing that from behind. And like you realize like, oh, there's like a
God
music.
damn it.
You're like, oh, there's must be some kind of like music session or something happening here. And
Yeah.
then from behind you, you just hear like ta 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 ta,
God damn it.
and you hear him go, "This is not a rebel song. I am a rambling Irishman. In Ulster I was born." And like how they sing.
Yeah.
So you kind of like are just listening to this like guy sing. He has a bright red, just alcoholic Celtic fucking face. This guy he's got one of those hats, you know what I mean? Almost like those newsboy hats
Yeah, yeah.
that those people wear.
The Brian Gutman.
Yeah, the Gutman. And so he's wearing a Gutman atop his head. He's got like, Guinness in his fucking hand.
Beef red face.
I mean, as red as the red stars of Krypton. That's what you think. When you look at this guy's face, you think of the only known color in the world that could defeat Superman and take away his powers. That's how fucking red this absolute stereotype's face is.
How unfortunate.
He's like,
Really unfortunate.
he looks over at you. He's like, hey, he goes, me name's Izzy Irish, me lad. Welcome. He's like,
Multiple people have told us this is their least favorite character on the show. Multiple people that we have specifically asked who is your least favorite character have both said it's Izzy Irish.
he goes, and this song goes out to all the haters.
Oh, fuck this.
I tell me, ma, when I go home, the boys won't leave the girls alone. Everyone starts clapping along. Like everyone's going crazy for this guy. Izzy Irish is a fucking hit as far as these guys are concerned.
Jesus.
And it kind of goes around in a circle. And he's kind of like, you realize like, oh, they've all been like singing songs. And it gets to you. And you kind of go like, oh, sorry guys, I'm just here. I'm just, here for the chicken wings. And they're like, what? And Izzy looks at you and he is, I mean, the other thing is that you haven't seen this guy touch a drop of water the entire evening. This guy has it's
Yeah.
just been whiskey,
Guinness.
Guinness, yeah. Like he is. So his eyes are glassy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. He's
No one
having a
seems
fun night.
no one seems concerned.
Sure.
He's not out of control necessarily. He's just singing his songs. Is he Irish? He looks over at you and he goes, "It's your turn to sing, laddie." And there's something about maybe just looking at that beet red fucking face in front of you, just that floating moon of red, just inspires you. You stand up and you just begin to sing. And you do it like this.
That sucks.
You go, "Oh, Danny boy, the pipes, the pipes are calling from glen to glen, down the mountain side." You're doing like a Tom
Why am
Waits
I
thing
doing this?
because you've just been listening to a lot of Tom Waits lately, I guess. So, and everyone like looks at you, and like half of them are like, "What the fuck is this?" The other half are like, "Fuck yeah!" It's a very polarizing thing that you're doing.
That
So
sucks.
your main creative thing right now is singing.
I can't believe this is happening.
You you start going to like you start off going to like karaoke nights because you have a need to sing in public. There's something about it, doing this voice that makes you want to scream it to the world, but like you don't feel ready enough to go to like a singer songwriter night or anything like that. So you've been going to like late night karaoke places. There's places that where karaoke is open 24/7. It's the karaoke district of Los Angeles.
Great.
So you go to the district, as you call it, and you start bouncing from place to place, just singing like Tom Waits.
Making the rounds.
Yeah. And you start off doing actual Tom Waits songs, but then you start, branching out, doing covers in that same voice. Can't see my, I can't see my poker face. Come on, Bobby, let's go party. Uh.
Do a version of Barbie Girl as Tom Waits.
Yeah. That time people were very into it. And like there was like at one point you're kind of wondering like because your eyes are closed, you're a little nervous when you do this at first. So you're like, I wonder how this is going. And you open one of your eyes, and you see like everybody's like swaying and they're like super into it. And you see like this, you don't hear it obviously because they're far away, but you see a woman mouth into like her presumably her date's ear, "I'm into this." And he mouths back, "I'm into this."
Yeah.
So it is a hit that time. But there are some places where they are not into this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so you're kind of seeing like who's receptive to what, you know what I mean? The karaoke district is there's a lot of places to go, man. You know what I mean? There are some buildings where there's just like multiple stories of karaoke. So you can do all kinds of things. Your biggest hit so far,
Sucks.
your
This sucks.
Why? You don't like
Why?
Tom?
Because I'm spending my free time making up Tom Waits covers, going around a karaoke district, the district as I call it,
Yeah, because you go there so often.
because I'm such a fucking regular.
Yeah, but I mean, Tom Waits. That's the thing is that you start kind of making a name for yourself in the karaoke district to the point
God, what
where
a nightmare. What a fucking nightmare. To start where you make a name for yourself in the karaoke district.
yeah, but it is cutthroat out in the district, dude. Some people call it the swamp.
This sucks.
And so there are like there's certain characters that you learn to just avoid completely, and there's some people that you can trust. There's some people that you're like, all right, this guy is
Fuck does that
definitely
mean?
where you're like this guy is definitely like we're friends, but like I wouldn't go to jail for this guy. You know what I mean? You become legitimate buddies with like a few of the people, you because
Yeah.
you bump into some of the same people, you know.
Yeah. I gotta imagine it's probably a pretty small, you know, circuit of people.
Yeah.
It's
So you and like
sucks.
your two karaoke pros, as you guys call yourselves, uh people who go from karaoke place to karaoke place, singing their tunes. You're hanging out with two of them one night. You guys decide to go out and have just a friendly night out of karaoke. No one's trying to top each other or anything like that. You're just there to hang out. It's this guy, um, Max Price. Pryc with a $ E. And then this guy, um, Abe uh, Port.
A port?
Abe Port. Port. People call him the Porter.
Why? Why the fuck do people call him the porter, Pat?
It's his favorite type of beer. Whenever he goes to a bar, people start calling him that because he would always like go up to the bartender and be like, hey, what kind of porters do you have? And sometimes the people, if you go to like a bar that actually has, good beer and stuff, they'd always have it. But some places, like he just never quite gets that, like, not every some of these, dive bars are not going to have stuff like that,
Yeah.
the porter. You guys go out to this place. You haven't been there yet. It's called Rockstar Karaoke. You go there. You got big plans, man. The the KJ there, he calls your name. Uh
KJ?
yeah, the karaoke, like the DJ, the host, the KJ.
Is
The
that what they
cage.
call them? Is that what they call themselves? KJs? Is that
Yeah.
like a
Well
technical term?
that's like yeah, I think that's what they call them. Karaoke, yeah. So yeah, karaoke DJs, but they just get rid of the D. They got no time. KJ.
Karaoke jocks?
Yeah. And this guy that's there tonight is like the head karaoke jock. He's like, hey everybody, this is KJ Billy Light, and I am gonna be hosting your karaoke experience tonight. And like everyone's like, oh yeah, because the crowd's like, oh, this guy's good. People are like,
Billy Light.
Billy Light, yeah. And so he he you write your name down. So he's like, he brings you up. He's like, all right, it's oh cool. Hey man, this is pretty cool. It's Aaron Brooks, everybody. And the people who are in the know about the karaoke scene are like, holy shit, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is cool, you know what I mean? But most people are just like, all right, like whatever, they're just there hanging out. They're not necessarily pros. So you go up, you do I was uh I was meant for you by Jewel.
Okay.
I hear the clock. It's 6 a.m. I feel the world.
I hate this.
You you do the whole, Tom Waits thing, and the song ends, and the light's in your face. You can't really see anybody in the crowd. And there's just silence. And you're
As
sort
I
of
mean, as there should be,
and
as there should be.
you're kind of like, what? And you kind of go, okay. And you put the mic back in the stand. The lights kind of dim a little bit so you can actually see that the rock and roll karaoke is completely empty. There's no bartender, no waitresses, there's no one in there.
What the fuck?
You kind of look over and at the KJ booth. Billy Light is seen as one of the best KJers in LA. But he never like no one ever sees him go into the booth. No one ever sees him comes out. Every time they go there, he's just kind of there. And the glass is like kind of thick, so sometimes they only can make out like an outline of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it's kind of hard to tell what he looks like. Almost like he's. Some people can swear he's almost translucent. You know. So,
yeah.
but there is no one in the booth, and you kind of go like, "What?" And you turn to look again to the crowd, and sitting in the crowd is one man. He's uh he's wearing like swim trunks, like tropical swim trunks, you know.
Yeah,
He's wearing a Hawaiian shirt type of deal, but it's like, unbuttoned, obviously.
sure.
He's got a pretty, a hairy, sculpted chest,
Yeah, tight bod,
tight bod. And
bonds.
in his hand is like a golden like fork looking thing. He's got sunglasses, but he's like not wearing them. They're like up on top of his head, you know.
Okay,
And they look expensive.
all right.
He goes, "Hello, Aaron. You can call me Pete Sidon." He goes, and
Are you fucking kidding me?
I own this
Pete
place.
Sidon, a golden fork looking thing.
Yeah, you
A
hear
fork. You hold a fork with your fingers. Are you talking about
yeah.
a trident, Pat?
No, it's a small little fork. It's like little. It's like the size of a fork, you know?
Are you fucking kidding? Pete Sidon.
In the background, you can hear like the Beach Boys playing.
I've been belittling myself for 30 minutes to get to Pete Sidon.
But as you hear
God damn.
as you hear the Beach Boys in the background, you realize like, oh shit, it's not the Beach Boys. It's actually so you just hear him go, I wish they all could be California bongs. And you're like, bong, bong, ba bong, bub. So you're like, the Bong Boys. And he's like,
The
yeah, pretty
Bong
cool.
Boys.
And he's like, yeah, pretty cool, huh? And he goes, Aaron, how would you like to become the best karaoke singer on the West Coast? He smiles at you and his teeth glint.
What do I have to do?
He just smiles and he's like, all you have to do, Aaron, look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the power to become the best karaoke singer on the West Coast. In return, all you have to do is once a night when you're out there doing karaoke, you have, I'd like you to dedicate one song to me. Just, show me a little appreciation out on that
Who
stage.
what is your title again? Oh yeah,
Pete
sorry.
Sidon.
Pete Sidon.
Yeah.
You fucking kidding me? How did I forget that?
Yeah. He- what do you
So
do?
all I have to do is once a night I go, hey, this is for Pete Sidon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that.
He like walks up to the stage and sticks his hand out. He smells like not, and this isn't like unpleasant necessarily, but he smells like sunscreen, you know? Sticks out his hand. Do you shake his hand?
Yeah,
You shake his perfectly tanned, perfectly smooth hand. And for just a second, it's almost like you're transported above like an angry, raging sea at night, you know? And you look down upon it and you see shapes underneath the waves. And for a moment, you just thank God that it's too dark for you to see what those fucking shapes are. You kind of like snap back and he's like, deal. He's like, all right, thanks, Aaron. You blink. And now there's like a bunch of people are back in the, the karaoke, rock and roll karaoke. You're like, that was fucking weird. You get off stage and you have like a pretty good night, you know? You're
yeah.
singing songs. Some of them you sing like Tom Waits, some of them you just sing kind of normal, you know. You kind of let your hair down a little bit, so to speak. You go up, Billy Lights, Billy Light goes, all right, everybody, singing his final song of the evening. It's Aaron Brooks. Sound like a million ghosties or people for Aaron Brooks. Everyone claps.
I'm getting this dedication out of the way early in the night, by the way. I'm not gonna wait until the end. The first song that I get, I'm gonna
Yeah.
dedicate to Pete Sidon.
What
I'm not
would you
gonna
so
wait
would you
until the end of the night.
what would you say?
I would say, hey, this song is for Pete Sidon.
Then
And
you're like,
then,
then you're like, today was gonna be the day that I'm gonna throw it back to you.
oh man, okay. Yeah.
So for the next couple of weeks, I gotta be honest with you, Aaron, you are knocking it out of the fucking park. You get so good at like singing karaoke that you finally have the nerve to like go to like open mic night, like an actual live performance, you know?
As Tom Waits.
Yeah.
That sucks. There's nothing wrong with Tom Waits, whatever, but that it's just unnecessary.
So you go to this place. They're doing it's this is known as the hottest open mic on the singer-songwriter circuit. It's held in a bookstore in downtown Los Angeles called called The Lab. It stands for Los Angeles Books. So it's like L period A period B period.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's just called it's called Cooking Up Tunes in the Lab is the name of the
Oh,
open mic. So
oh,
it's
oh, that's so bad. That's the name of the open mic, hooking up tunes in the lab.
yeah. So you go there and you're like you walk up to the fucking mic and you hear like a murmur in the crowd because people have been following you from the people who are into what you're doing are following you from karaoke room to karaoke room. And now they're coming out to this, your actual first real live performance. So they're like, fuck, oh, I heard he was going to be here. This is crazy. A couple people from your Ben Caught Stealing audience have come out as well. They're just kind of curious.
Great.
You walk up, you grab that microphone, and you're like, this one's for Pete Sidon. The music starts playing.
Yeah.
It's it's the song Yeah by Usher featuring Lil Jon and Ludacris. And
I'm
so
doing all the parts myself.
yeah,
Great.
so you get the mic, you're like, yeah. But like you kind of get distracted because from like the street almost you hear kind of like rumblings. You hear like people kind of going like, "Ah," and like running and stuff, and you're like, huh? But you keep singing, and then you hear like almost like a like a rumbling thing, and you're like, what the hell's going on? And you look out the window, and there is this gigantic like flood coming through downtown Los Angeles, and there's a gigantic wave in the middle of it, and atop it is Pete Sidon, and now instead of holding up a golden fork, he's holding up a fucking trident made out of bones, and he just goes, "Ah, fuck yeah." You finally like when you were dedicating the songs to him, it counted as like almost like a sacrifice, you know what I mean? Like a dedication to a god, you know what I mean? So this is like the 50th performance basically, and he's stored up enough power from you invoking his name that he's able to finally invade Earth again. Within a week, Poseidon takes over all of North and South America.
You mean Pete Sidon?
Pete Sidon. What did I say?
Poseidon?
So, but yeah, but you don't, yeah, you don't see that. You die in the, the first like the
Are
first
you
wave.
what the fuck?
So
Why am
you,
I
if
dying?
because you're in downtown and that's where it started, and he flooded it, and so you ended up, you kind of look over and you're like, what? And then the water comes down so fucking fast, it
Yeah,
just
great.
shatters the fucking windows into the bookstore, and then everyone starts drowning and everyone's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then you hear him yell like, thanks, Aaron, as he goes past you. So everybody, as they're drowning, they all swim over to you. They all choke you out.
God damn it.
So and you like they strangle you to death, and then they all drown.
Before I can drown.
Yeah, before you can drown,
And
they strangle you to death, and then
and
like
they also drown.
yeah, like 3 seconds later,
They spend their last moments drowning me before they drown, before they take care of themselves, is what you're telling me.
they were so pissed.
God damn it. That sucked.
Pete Sidon took it back, man.
Cool, I guess. I don't know. Fucking sucked.
You brought him back.
I hate that.